Welcome to the 2022 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Selection Show. I'm your host, Lara Overton. An exciting past few months in the sport, coming off a delayed Olympic Games in Tokyo and another thrilling collegiate gymnastics season. Michigan is the reigning national champion in what was a tightly contested NCAA championship in 2021. And the road to nationals this year is soon to be revealed. The regional competition begins on March 30th. 4 regional sites will host 9 teams for 3 days of competition, with that selection based on a calculation of team scores throughout the year. The top 16 teams have been seeded and assigned a regional site based on their cumulative rankings, while the remaining 20 teams have been seeded geographically. Those teams ranked 8th and 9th in their regions will go head-to-head on March 30th, with 8 teams competing in a 4-way regional semifinal the following day. Those competing in the regional final will do so on April 2nd, with the top 2 from each region advancing to Texas, where they will compete for the national title in Fort Worth beginning April 14th. In addition to those teams advancing, we will also announce the individual all-around and specialists for each of the 4 sites. And let's go to those who will contend for a national championship and unveil the bracket right now. We begin with our Norman Regional. The 8th-seeded Minnesota Gophers achieved the 3 highest scores in school history this season, led by seniors Ona Loper and Lexi Rainier, who were both ranked in the top 10 in the all-around. The 9th seed is Cal. The Bears are coming off their best ever score at a Pac-12 championship, in which they took 2nd as a team. Also in this bracket of the Norman Regional, Boise State. The Broncos took silver at the Mountain Rim Gymnastics Championship, with 5 athletes taking all conference honors, including 5th-year senior Emily Mullenhoff, the conference bars specialist for the 3rd straight year. And then we have Utah State, who is carrying momentum this postseason as they recently captured their first ever MRGC title, with the Aggies scoring 197.025. That score not only a season high, also the 2nd highest score in program history. Rebecca Wells captured 14 titles overall in 2022, including the MRGC all-around title, with the 2nd best score for a conference championship meet. The top seed is Oklahoma, who recently scored 198 at the Big 12 Championship for the highest score in conference history. The Sooners also broke their own record from back in 2018. 198.14 NQS is the highest in NCAA history. OU's 6 scores of 198 plus leads the nation, and they come into the tournament having won 9 of the last Big 12 titles. The 16th seed, Arizona State, who earned a share of the Pac-12 regular season title for the first time after recording 5 conference wins, which is also the most in a single season for ASU since 2001. The Gym Devils earned notable wins this season, beating UCLA for the first time since 2001, and the following week recording a victory over then unbeaten Cal. Junior Hannah Scharf continues to be a strong threat for ASU, ranking in the top 25 in the all-around, while also capturing 12 event titles this season. Next, we have Arkansas. The Razorbacks coming off its best finish at an SEC championship since 2019. The Hogs also earned top 5 program SEC championship event scores on all but the beam and matched their best ever on bars. Arkansas has appeared in 17 straight regionals. And rounding out the Norman Regional, the first of the final 2 teams, we have West Virginia. The Mountaineers went undefeated from February 6th to March 6th, and that run included a win over 22nd ranked North Carolina. WVU senior Kendra Combs is ranked 35th nationally on the floor exercise, and just last week was named to the All Big 12 gymnastics team. The Mountaineers' first all-conference all-around honoree since 2014. Both Combs and Abby Pearson were named Big 12 Gymnasts of the Week this season, and WVU has had multiple weekly award recipients in the same season for the first time since 2017. Rounding out that Norman region, the Wildcats of Arizona making their 11th appearance in an NCAA championship and their first since 2002. And athletes competing in the all-around competition are Angelica Labat of Illinois State and Malia Hargrove of Arizona. And here are the individual event specialists set to compete. Vault and uneven bars specialists for the Auburn Regional listed on your screens. The Nittany Lions will send 3 athletes to compete on the uneven bars. And then here are your student athletes specializing in the beam and floor exercise. Bella Salcido of Penn State will join her teammates, while West Virginia will have 3 gymnasts competing as individual event specialists. Now we head to the Washington Regional, where we have 5th-seeded Alabama. The Crimson Tide finishing top 2 in the SEC Championship meet for the 31st time this past weekend. With that second-place finish, Alabama remains the only school in SEC history to never finish outside the top 4 at the conference championship meet. In that meet, Lexi Graber scored 9.925 for her 10th 9.9 or better on the floor in a row and her 25th 9.9 or better in her last 26 routines. Alabama's also tied a school record on the uneven bars at SECs with Makari Doggett, Shania Williams, and Luisa Blanco all scoring 9.995s. 12th-seeded Michigan State. The Spartans recently took second at the Big Ten Championship, the team's best performance at a conference meet since 2006. Michigan State's total was the highest team score in Big Ten Championship meet history, dethroning the previous all-time high of 196.025 set at the 2004 championships. We then have BYU, the Cougars coming off a top 5 finish at the MRGC meet. BYU placing 4th, led by senior Sadie Minor Van Tassel, the 2022 MRGC Gymnast of the Year. In total, 8 Cougar athletes earned all conference honors following the weekend's competition. Next, we have Washington. The Huskies most recently 6th at the Pac-12 meet, where 5 gymnasts scored 9.8, paced by Skylar Kilo Wilhelm with a 9.9. The 4th seed will be Utah, bringing a wealth of experience to the postseason as they return 23 of 24 routines from last year's 3rd-place team. The Utes are the only team in the country to advance to every national championship, and they are coming off an NCAA record 45th straight appearance last year. Olympian Grace McCallum leads Utah as the top all-arounder, earning a season-high 49.775, ranking 5th all-time in school history. Maylee O'Keefe has posted 3 perfect 10s in 2022, including back-to-back 10s against Minnesota, to become the first Ute to score 2 10s in the same meet since 1999. Oregon State will be the 13th seed. Olympian Jade Carey took the all-around at the Pac-12 championships. She also earned the conference's Gymnast and Freshman of the Year honors. Illinois will head to Washington. The Fighting Illini enter the competition with a qualifying score of 196.775. And Stanford is earning its first trip to the NCAA Regional since 2019. The Cardinal, led by Kyla Bryant, who has had a stellar regular season in which she earned 11 of Stanford's 16 individual titles, while also owning the team's top scores in 4 events and the all-around. She'll be joined by fellow powerhouse upperclassman Taylor Lawson, who is 24 for 24 on all of her routines so far this season. Next, we have San Jose State. The Spartans enjoying a record-breaking season in which they also captured the MPSF championship. They crossed the 196-point threshold for the first time in school history this season, and then scored 196 points or higher in 5 different meets, including that MPSF title win. Jada Missouri among the standouts for the Spartans, coming off wins in the bar, floor, and all-around competitions. And your event specialists we have now to reveal. We have 4 athletes competing in the all-around: Kyla Bryant, Jada Missouri, Kyla Kessler, and Lauren McPherson. We now reveal the specialists for the vault and beam competitions in that Seattle Regional. Those listed on your screen. And we round out the reveal of this regional with the student athletes completing in the floor exercise and beam competitions. Now to the Auburn Regional. The host and 7th-seeded Tigers, led by Olympic all-around gold medalist Suni Lee. Auburn coming off a top 3 performance at SECs, in which Lee scored a perfect 10 on bars for her 4th perfect score of the season and Auburn's first at the SEC championship. They'll face off with SEC foe and the 10-seed Kentucky. The Wildcats recently took 7th at the SEC championship. In the conference meet, junior Raina Worley tied for 2nd in the floor and took 6th in the all-around. And we are sticking with the Southeastern Conference. Next up to be revealed, Georgia. The Gym Dogs most recently taking 8th at the conference championship meet. Next up in the bracket, Southern Utah, who had 5 athletes earn MRGC honors after a 3rd place finish in which Shylin Murakami claimed an individual title on the bars. Continuing in the Auburn Regional with the number 2 overall seed, Florida. The Gators swept the 2022 SEC titles and claimed the 11th conference championship meet title with the 2nd highest score in the meet's 41-year history. UF finished the regular season with top 3 national qualifying averages in every event, and the Gators lead the nation with 4 different gymnasts among the top 55 all-around totals this season. Trinity Thomas is the nation's leader with 6 10s, an all-around win, along with victories in the vault and the floor at the SEC championships. The 15 seed is Denver, who recently earned its 2nd highest score of the season at the Big 12 championship, and with a final NQS score of the season at 196.96, marks the 5th highest score in program history. Riley Mundell placed 2nd overall at the Big 12 championship while also earning a share of the bars title. Ohio State up next. The Buckeyes coming off a 5th place finish at the Big 10 championship, led by Colby Miller, who earned her first Big 10 title and the program's 26th individual title. Iowa State recently took 4th at the Big 12 Conference Championship, with Maddie Diab earning a share of the conference floor title and Michaela Maxwell taking 2nd in the vault. Next team to be revealed, Western Michigan. The program coming off a top 3 finish at the MAC Championship. Junior Peyton Murphy capturing the beam title and also a co-champion on the floor, while freshman Hallie Faulkner was a co-champion in the vault. Those athletes selected for all-around in the Auburn Regional, those being Hannah Demers, Peyton Murphy, and Rachel Dekovich. And finally, your event specialist selected for the vault and bars competition, currently on your screen. Congratulations to those student athletes, as well as those who will compete in the beam and the floor exercise, who you'll see right now. And we round out the bracket with the Raleigh Regional. We start with 6th-seeded LSU. The Tigers coming off a top 5 finish at SECs and at the conference meet, the squad recorded a 49.55 on the beam for their highest score at an SEC meet in program history. LSU boasts the 2021 NCAA vault champion Haley Bryant, who owns 2 perfect scores. LSU is making its 32nd NCAA tournament appearance. And Missouri earns the 11th overall seed. The Tigers recording their highest ever conference championship score and a finish of 196.875 to take 4th in the SEC championships. Missouri shattered the previous program championship high of 196.7 set back in 2003. Next we have Iowa. The Hawkeyes took 3rd at the Big 10 championships, with senior Lauren Guerin sharing the floor title for a 2nd straight season. And your host, NC State, up next, where the Wolfpack have enjoyed a stellar season from junior Emily Shepard, who broke the program record for career 9.9 marks this season and has a total of 24 such marks for her career, all of which coming in her sophomore and junior seasons. The Pack holds the highest NQS in the league on both the beam and the floor, and 2nd in the conference in the bars. 3rd seed is Michigan. The reigning national champs won their 26th Big 10 title on Saturday and set a conference record with its first ever 198 scored at the event. Abbey High School was a 3-time Big 10 champion, including winning the all-around, and teammate Sierra Brooks on the vault and Natalie Wojcik on the beam also earned individual titles. 14th seed UCLA, who had a slow start to the season but looks to be peaking at the right time. The Bruins have 3 gymnasts who have scored a total of 6 perfect 10s this year. Sophomore Shea Campbell has recorded 2 on floor. Freshman Olympian Jordan Chillis has 2 on the floor and 1 on the uneven bars. And freshman Olympic alternate Emma Balibuo has 1 on the balance beam. Next up, Maryland. The Terps posted a 196.45 in Session 1 of the Big Ten Championships. That's the highest score since joining the conference in the 2014-2015 academic year. Maryland ended the championships tied for 6th. And in the first round matchup, Towson will face North Carolina. Towson finished 2nd in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League Championships with a score of 196.075, and the Tar Heels went undefeated in the East Atlantic Gymnastics League competition this season. Your all-around competitors in the Raleigh Regional, take a look on your screen right now. Hannah Joyner, Deja Chambliss, and Julian Noer. Here are your specialists in the vault and uneven bars competitions. Followed by those advancing in the beam and the floor exercise. That is your bracket for the 2022 NCAA Gymnastics Championships. All 36 teams plus those individual qualifiers. All 4 regionals will take place March 30th through the 31st, with the regional finals on April 2nd. The top 4 teams advancing to the national semifinals on April 14th at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. You can track all the results right here on NCAA.com before watching the semifinals on ESPN2 and the national championship on ABC April 16th, with coverage beginning at 1 p.m. I'm Lara Overton. Thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations and good luck to all the programs and student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.